Welcome to Roll the Bones, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Let's get right to it and meet your players.
Hi, I'm Chip and I play Oz.
Howdy, I'm Shelby and I play Fourstone.
I'm Joel and I play Allgrove.
Hi, I'm Gretchen and I play Kahu. In Golden Fields, it's not about who you know, it's who you are.
Ooh.
And I'm everything.
Wow, that one's pretty good. I am, who cares? I am Chris, the Dungeon Master.
You gotta go first, man.
Yeah.
Gretchen has to go last.
You killed the druids that were hanging out in the little lodge area, really. They didn't have anything interesting on them, except for Balin Windweaver had a ring, a little signet ring that you guys took off of him. Otherwise...
I cut off his forearm, didn't I?
Did
You did.
Yes.
You
Oh,
kept
that's
his,
right.
You kept his tattoo.
Who's got the signet ring?
Oh, nobody specifically said they're carrying it.
you want to carry it?
Sure, I'll take it.
Carry that
Seems important.
Okay, so what else do you guys want to do in this room, or do you want to move back somewhere else?
Do you still have your... I thought about it when I was listening. Do you still have your special card for this time?
Yeah.
And what does it do? I don't remember.
Speak with Dead once today.
Okay.
I
I don't know that they would know anything.
don't know that they would want to tell us anything.
Yeah, usually if you speak with dead on someone you killed, then you get a bad result, right?
Do I have any problems amputating this guy's arm?
No, it comes off fine. I mean, the problems you would have amputating anybody's arm with the tools you have on hand, which are not like hacksaws and stuff.
Do we have a plan for keeping this arm so it doesn't necrotize? Because I would imagine you still need it to get the tattoo, because if it rots, the tattoo's not going to show.
Well, my thinking is just it would probably won't be useful after today.
Okay.
We'll throw it out.
Malkrith can eat it too.
Oh, that's a real exotic meat.
Yeah. Just human druid arm.
Yeah.
He wanted it when it
It's-
was
it's
transformed. Now
Yeah,
it's post-transformed,
it's
so now
not-
it's regular long pig.
Let's see. Have we rummaged? Because there's a kitchen here, right?
Yeah.
Have we rifled the cabinets and things?
Yeah, we did. We got.
We did?
'Cause I was looking for exotic
Right.
cooking ingredients, and I just found some regular spices that I'm going to bring back to Claude.
Yeah, otherwise this room was pretty much cached as far as stuff to find.
All right. Well, I know better than to take the lead. Now
Now you say that.
Now I know that.
You have learned.
I am a student. That's what I'm trying to do is learn.
And we did take a short rest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Because we stopped at 8. Okay, well, leave the kitchen. The only way out is the way we came in, right?
Yeah, there were kind of two doors that went in that wrapped around that staircase. And so you,
okay.
as far as you know, you've seen every door on the first floor.
Right.
And then there's a fairly large stairway that leads up to the second floor.
Should we go up those stairs, I guess?
I suppose so.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so at the top of the stairs, you can see that there are only two doors. One is a plain wooden door that's off to your left. And then right directly in front of you is a more elaborate archway that is lined with dead foliage and twisting gray vines.
I'm going to go through the door with the foliage and the vines.
Okay. As you pass under the archway of dead plants, you enter a small hallway, maybe just 15 feet long, with bare stone walls. And on the other end of the hallway is a similar archway, but this doorway is blocked by a layer of thick overgrowth of twisting vines, maybe a foot in diameter. And rickety tubes made of glass and copper run along the ceiling, intermeshed with more plant life, and they connect one archway to the other. And there's a lever on the wall beside the archway that's closed.
Okay. Hey, Oz, come over here with your arm.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll go over and hold the severed arm up to the wall of vines.
Nothing happens.
But
You have tattoos too.
Yeah. We're gonna hold up my arm. We have our own.
Yeah, but he's got two.
Yeah, he does have two.
Oh.
More clearance. maybe.
Yeah.
I would like to investigate the machinery.
Yeah,
I assume that what's going to happen is when we pull the lever, one side's going to open, the other side's going to close, but I just want to verify that.
Yeah, and, give me a roll.
Investigation?
Yeah.
That's a 22.
Before you investigate, Oz, should the rest of us get out of this corridor in case it traps us all in here?
Sure, yeah.
Point. That's a good idea.
Would hate a repeat of what happened downstairs.
That is a reasonable thing to be concerned about.
Okay.
We did finish putting out that fire, right? The fire that was
It
downstairs?
just sort of went out. Yeah, burned up everything in the room, but it was a stone
Okay.
room. And
All right. That's good. That's good. Okay, cool. I'll leave the hallway.
Okay, yeah, so investigating.
Yeah, that is what you think is going to happen, is something is going to transfer between one door and the other door, and you suspect one will open and the other will shut.
Okay. My friends, I am confident that if I am to throw this lever, it will merely open this side and close the side that we just walked through.
Also, with that strong check, you do notice that there's like a little slot underneath the lever, and it happens to appear to be vaguely in the shape of a signet ring.
Oh, well.
And there's a slot here that appears to be vaguely in the shape of a signet ring.
Oh, pull out the signet ring.
There was another door up here that we could have investigated too, right?
There's a wooden door, right?
Yeah.
It's a regular wooden door.
Should we?
Should we do that one first since it seems less
Yeah,
Right.
before we die in this one.
intense?
All right. So if you go back out and open the other door, is that what you want to do?
Yes.
It looks like just a kind of a bunk room, a barracks. This is a rectangular chamber. It's austere and functional, carved partially into living wood and the stone of the building. And 6 identical low platform beds are arranged in perfect symmetry along the walls, each with a thin mattress of woven reeds covered by a single undyed wool blanket. Above each bed hangs a small shelf holding only the essentials. Stuff like a journal, measuring instruments, personal tokens of natural origin, a special stone, a preserved leaf, or a little wooden carving.
I would like to steal everyone's diaries and trinkets.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cat behavior.
Yeah. You grab what looks like 2 little whittled animals, a duck and a bear, a couple of cool looking river rocks that just look like normal river rocks, and 2 old leather notebooks.
Thank you.
Do any of these mundane looking items actually seem like they might potentially be magical?
I mean, I think you would probably need to roll something of your choice to determine.
Would you permit me to just roll Arcana?
Sure, I will.
All right.
Never mind.
That's a nat 1.
Yeah, you don't know what magic is.
Dumb druid stuff. Druid magic isn't real.
Yeah, I think that's probably exactly what Oz would assume.
Oz is a druidism denier.
They all have the magical property of being in my backpack.
Yeah.
Sick.
Well, no, you don't think that there's anything special about them.
Okay.
Should we open up the diaries and read them?
What's in there?
There's nothing interesting in either of them. I mean, you could kind of dig more deeply if you really want to, but it does seem to be just the humdrum goings on day in and day out of members of the Dusk Circle who've been there. It's like logs of them doing chores, stupid jokes they told each other at the large communal table downstairs. Nothing immediately jumps out to you as being of note.
May I see one of these books, please?
One, sure.
I'm going to look and see if there is anything that might suggest that there's some kind of encoded information
Okay.
in this.
That's probably an investigate.
Cool. That's my thing. That was a 16.
A 16, you feel pretty confident that there's nothing special, that it really is just guys that are living a cloistered life who some of them keep a little journal.
I snap the book closed. I can relate. I give it back to you.
Okay.
That was the only other door, right?
Can I roll an investigation check, because there are 6 beds in this room and we have encountered only, I know they said that they were destroyed, but like we only encountered 2 people in this building, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, could the other 4 be behind this door that's
Yeah.
closed by the lever. Can I do an investigation check for that?
Go ahead, give me a roll for that, and we'll see what you can get.
23.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do think that it seems like probably 4 of them have been used very, very recently, and that 2 of them have been used like in recent history, but maybe not in the last 24 hours, let's say.
Okay, well then that kind of checks out with what we saw.
Malcrath's going to be counting on his hand. How many druids did we kill at Golden Fields?
Several.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know how many, because some of them would have been potentially killed by like Golden Fields guards during that first attack. Like, this might not be the only place anybody's ever slept. They might sleep on the floor. They might sleep outside.
Okay, so back to the airlock.
Yeah. Airlock is a decent way to think about it.
I'm standing outside of the airlock.
So as we all walk in, if you're standing outside, I'm going to say, Kahu, I do think that you will be cut off from us if you stand out there.
Wait, why are you standing out there?
Because I think something bad is going to happen and I don't want to get trapped in this corridor.
Is there a way? Aha! Wait. Okay, so there is a way that we can activate this from outside of the hallway, but we might seal ourselves off from it if we do so.
Oh, certainly. I can use a mage hand.
I'll also use Mage Hand.
You guys should
I won't cast a spell either. I'll just the signet ring will start floating out. And I'll say, you get the lever, I'll get the signet ring.
There's like a moment of silence, and Oz pulls out his journal and starts furiously scribbling on still wet pages.
What are you doing?
I just wanted to make a note. I didn't know you could do that.
You can't do? Oh, that's right. You dirt walkers.
Right, no, I have to. This is what I have to do what you just did. Then I go through the process of casting Mage Hand, which just takes like a few seconds.
So you only have the physical arms? You don't have mind arms? None of you?
What?
Well, I have. No.
How do you survive?
I have to summon my mind arm, and it only lasts for a certain amount of time.
Ugh.
Magically.
Is that painful?
I mean, no, not anymore.
We should talk about this later.
Certainly.
Okay, you're standing outside of the hallway, and the 2 mage hands move towards the wall. One plugs the signet ring into the slot. The other pulls the lever, and when you throw the lever, you hear an electric jolt, and the pipes in the ceiling glow intensely, and then almost instantly, the vines blocking your way wither and retract, and simultaneously, the dead vines wreathing the other archway spring into life and grow over the doorway that's now in front of you. So you don't know what's on the other side now, and now you're blocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear, again, that voice that you have suspected is Cyril Allgrove's, kind of echoing as if it were standing next to you. And he says, nature doesn't waste. When something dies, its essence returns to the cycle. I've simply expedited the process, made it more efficient. Balance is a lie we tell ourselves. There is only flow, energy moving from one vessel to another. I am merely directing the current.
I'm going to flip the lever back the other way now.
When you flip the lever back the other way, simply enough, the opposite thing happens. The door that's in front of you opens up, other door closes, just like an airlock.
Any evidence of
Traps.
Yeah.
No.
It's a shame we don't have an extra party member to test that room out on.
You have a dog and an owl.
It's a shame we don't have an extra disposable party member.
I grip Clutter's collar and back up.
Tarragon very clearly shakes his head at me.
Yeah, you reopen the door, right? And there was no evidence of a trap or anything like that. And now you're kind of back where you started before that experiment.
It seems safe to me. Let's just give it a shot. See what happens.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
No other way forward.
Right, you go back into the hallway, you pull the lever again,
Yep.
kind of little flash of light and electric jolt. The pipes in the ceiling glow intensely. The vines in front of you die. The ones behind you spring back into life. And now you are looking at what looks like a laboratory with only one exit immediately across from where you've come in. It's another overgrown archway with another lever on the wall. And in alcoves around the perimeter, glass-fronted cabinets house labeled specimens. Ancient oak, 342 years. tree ant heartwood, dryad essence, and more ominously, vials labeled with humanoid races. More pipes and hoses run along the ceiling in this messy mesh, and along the left-hand wall is a massive freshwater aquarium, probably 10 feet long, filled with fish native to the Desserin River.
Jesus Christ. Stay away from this, guys.
And on the opposite wall, you'd notice a large glass chamber that almost looks like a phone booth connected to the tubing that runs along the ceiling. And it's empty, though beside it you do see 2 big baskets. Next to that desk is a workstation with a stack of notebooks on it.
I think Oz's curiosity absolutely gets the best of him, and he's going to go look at the notes.
Yeah, the notebooks contain increasingly frantic calculations and diagrams of the surrounding forest, with large sections crossed out and annotated with measurements of quote-unquote absorption potential. There's something that looks like math going on, but math doesn't make a lot of sense to you, and that math also incorporates druidic writing and arcane symbols into these math equations.
These specimen containers with various bits of things, how well preserved are the specimens?
You're looking for edibles?
Yeah.
Extremely well preserved.
Okay. I'm gonna... Well, Claude said he didn't want to cook man flesh. I'm gonna check some of the other ones that are not like humanoid specimens and see what sort of varietals he has.
Like I said, he has dryad essence, which I don't know if that would or would not count for you. Tree ant heartwood. He has a warg liver in there.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
And he also has some ettercap eyes.
Ooh.
I'll take all those.
Okay, so you grab yourself a warg liver and some ettercap eyeballs.
And the dryad as well.
And the dryad essence, which is like a powdered material that's in a vial. You know exactly
Spice.
how that would be, how that would be processed.
Do any of the fish look especially exotic, or are they just like basic native fish?
No, yeah, like I said, it's just the basic kind of fish that live in the Desserin River.
This is like a self-contained aquarium.
Yeah, it's like inlaid into the wall. But I mean, it almost, if you can imagine, looks like thing you would see at an aquarium in our human Earth.
Rainforest Cafe.
Are there any other books other than the notebooks?
No, just the stuff that's stacked up on that desk there. That's next to, like I said, a big glass chamber and some baskets.
Does it look like? Have they been trying to force life essence from one thing to another? That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting so far from all this.
Potentially, you could experiment.
Oh, I could experiment. Yeah, I'm gonna start messing with the stuff.
Okay.
See if I can figure out what exactly kind of experiments they were running.
So those little baskets that are beside the glass booth, one of them is just like a pile of bones, and the other one contains what looks like compost, like kind of shredded up organic plant material.
I'm going to see if I can identify what kind of animal the bones came from.
Okay, roll a medicine or a nature.
Yeah, we're gonna do nature because I'm trained in that. That was a 15.
Pretty sure they're human bones.
Is anyone else curious if we should restore life to these bones?
I wonder if that's what they were trying to do. These are human.
Sure. I mean, that tracks with the ramblings of this man and everything we've heard about him.
What about the compost? You said it's just kind of like vegetative matter.
Yeah, and there's some fungus growing in there, mushrooms and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks like pure compost that you would spread on a garden.
I'm not one for side projects, but I am curious if his whole point is bringing back or restoring the essence of life. I kind of want to see what happens if you put this compost on these bones and...
Do you want me to go get one of the dead druids?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'm into it. I'll go through the airlock and go downstairs and
Okay.
that body come back.
Which one? it's worth noting because you have Balin Windweaver and then you have the like younger druid acolyte.
I'll do the acolyte. Balin was kind of a pain in the ass to kill, so
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with that
so
again.
You bring back up this body of this young redheaded woman, and yeah, now you have a corpse.
While Malkreth is fetching her body, I'm just going to take the bones and dump them into the basket of compost
Okay.
and see what happens.
Nothing happens.
That's what I thought.
Bones dirty.
Tell me again, the like laboratory equipment. It's all just like mad scientist stuff, beakers and distillation columns and things.
Yes, and there's when you actually get up to where you're messing with that big cylindrical phone booth looking booth, there's a lever on that too.
Okay.
And all of that is hooked up has these hoses and valves that run up into the ceiling, and the ceiling is kind of covered in this intricate, messy mesh of tubes, and it's all interwoven with plant growth and all this sort of stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna call everybody over. I think that I'm going to try to use the Speak with Dead ability that I've gotten from this card on these bones and see what we can divine.
Okay, so you cast.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Dead.
You cast Speak with Dead, and the skull's jaw creaks open, emitting this hollow, ethereal voice, and it says, "What can I do for you?"
It's very polite.
Indeed. What manner of experiments were conducted in this laboratory?
It says, "I don't know." How many? What I'm trying to remember is
Now I'm looking it up.
how many questions you get.
Oh, the new version just says up to 5 questions.
I thought it was up to 5 too. And also, for those who don't know, there are some pretty strict limitations, right? It only knows what it knew in life. It is often brief or cryptic in its
Spell
answers.
fails if the deceased creature was undead when it died. That's interesting.
It can't like learn new information. It can't offer up analysis of things. It can't reason. It can just sort of replay facts that it knows.
Okay, so that's one question down. Who were you in life?
It says, and you know that this is not normal. Timber servant, axe in hand, high hills child, hearth and home, forest bounty fed my land until claws made me bone.
He rhymes.
That usually doesn't happen,
Really?
right?
What?
This is one of your people's spells, I think, isn't it?
Not what I use.
Okay.
You'll remember too that you had a sense when you originally drew this card that it was going to have a weird effect.
Right.
Yeah.
That you could cast Speak with Dead, but that the responses would be not typical.
Okay.
Did you want me to say it again?
Let me have that again.
Give me that again.
Yeah. Timber servant, axe in hand, high hills child, hearth and home, forest bounty fed my land until claws made me bone.
Okay.
So this person was from High Hill, was maybe a logger, and was killed by a beast of some kind. So the odds of them knowing anything about this laboratory are pretty thin. Open to suggestions. Let's see.
I don't know that there's anything else I would want to know from this skeleton.
What if we have 3 more questions? What was your name?
The corpse's head tilts slightly, eyes empty, and it rasps. Carved in stone and whispered stream, Jormund was the sound I claimed. Mother's voice, father's dream, axe wielder until beast claimed.
Jormund. Remind me, where are we in relation to High Hill?
Like a day's walk. It's definitely the nearest settlement.
Okay.
Could ask if he's familiar at all with the Dusk Circle, or if he had known them at all when he was alive.
Yeah. Tell me what you know of the Dusk Circle.
Shadows gather where light fades. Ancient stones form broken ring. Blood and bone, old bargains made. Silent whispers, dark awakening.
Dark awakening.
Bargain made?
The hag?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
If it turns out she's behind this, I'm really going to enjoy killing her. More than usual.
I suspect you'll enjoy killing her either way. I was going to say.
Yes.
Right.
Did the Dusk Circle make a deal with Morwenna?
Names beyond my mortal knowing, whispers in the trees untold, seeds of darkness others sowing. Not all secrets do I hold.
That figures. Was that 5?
I think that's 5.
Yeah.
No, that was 4.
Well, his first question was,
was a throwaway.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, that was somewhat enlightening. What happened to the card when I cast the spell?
Nothing. It feels different to you, maybe
Okay.
a little bit. Like it had some sort of charge to it that is now gone, but it doesn't, disappear or burn away or anything like that.
Okay.
So are we going to reanimate this druid?
He might not be a druid. Oh, this druid. Yes.
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 Not the logger.
Yes. Let's give it a try.
All right, does it go in here?
I assume.
Okay. I'll shove her in the booth.
You shove her in the glass chamber, and then are you going to throw the lever?
I'm not going to do anything.
I'm
I'll
going
seem to know what's going on.
I'm going to investigate this mechanism and see if I can discern anything about the way it works before I start throwing levers.
All right, roll investigate again.
Ooh, that is a 26.
Whoa.
Yeah, with a 26, I mean, it's still pretty beyond you to understand completely. Like this is, you're not sure if this is the work of a absolute schizophrenic or the work of a genius, but you know that the main thing is that this chamber is connected to this mesh of connections that runs along the ceiling, and that looks absolutely incomprehensible unless you spent probably weeks trying to unriddle what's connected to what and what might be connected to things in other rooms. But you're looking at almost like an internet-like grid of energies that's running through this first room of this lab area. So it's really impossible to tell exactly what's going to happen when you throw that switch, but you think that you're onto something.
Okay.
Dude really needs to work on his cable management. Need some more
Nothing's
zip ties.
labeled, nothing's zip tied together. It is a fire waiting to happen.
Well, this room seems to represent years of labor by an absolute madman. So we'll see what happens. And I throw the lever.
All right. You throw the lever, and again, there's this sort of an electrical-like charge. The thing glows for a second. Then there's this sort of this electrical jolt runs through that aquarium on the opposite wall, and all of those fish turn up on their bellies, die, float to the surface, and that corpse starts to twitch, and then it stands up as a zombie.
Slack-jawed.
Wow. Okay. So here's what we know. The Dusk Circle can make undead.
Via a non-traditional means, no less.
Correct.
The zombie starts to get a little bit shiftier, like it's going to step out of the chamber.
I think we should kill this.
Whoa, hold on. Is there like a lock or latch on the chamber?
No, it's open.
Wow, we're gonna close it.
No, I mean, there's no close.
Oh, there's no close. Okay.
Imagine a phone booth with no door.
Oh, great.
Right.
Wow, not OSHA approved at all. All right, so okay, I'm gonna tackle the zombie and tie it up.
Okay, if that's what you want to
Should
do.
we just kill it?
It might be able to speak. I want to see how powerful this magic is. If she retained any of her memories, her personality.
Okay, you're gonna have to restrain the zombie. So you're gonna need to roll athletics, right?
Sure. I love rolling athletics. I love rolling athletics. That's a 9.
I mean, this is just gonna be an opposed athletics check, I think, right? So,
Slippery zombie.
oh wow,
Oh, yay.
Oh, why is she wet?
Gretchen saw it. It's a nat 1.
Oh,
There you go.
all right.
So you wrap it up in a bear hug, I guess.
Like, tackle it, slam it down on the ground, like straddle it, hold it down, and then start tying it up. I'll just hog tie it.
Okay, you hogtie the zombie. And yeah, it's successfully hogtied.
All right, I'll get off of it, sort of roll it over. Can you understand us?
It does not reply. It just makes zombies.
Malgreth, I've never heard of anyone training a zombie to be sentient. I don't know if this is going to work.
Well, we've never seen this sort of magic before. I wasn't sure how effective it would be. Clearly not terribly.
Would I know how zombies operate?
Oh, I think so.
Okay. Like, I don't know how unusual the knowledge about undead would be.
I think that you would know. They seem, low level enough that somebody who's been through some studies at Candlekeep, where there also are necromancers, would be something that you would know about. So you would know that they can distinguish friend from foe. They can follow very simple commands, but they can't communicate. They have basically no mind.
I will explain all of that.
No one has any objections. I say we just leave her here for now while we deal with Cyril. I'm curious how long this reanimation will last.
Generally, the creation of undead is it's a immediate thing. So she'll stay a zombie until indefinitely.
You're certain?
Well, if
This is not normal necromancy.
that's true, it is not. But from where I'm standing, she looks like an ordinary zombie. It's very exciting.
I agree.
Oh, goodness.
I still feel like we should kill her because where I see this going is she escapes, bites a bunch of people, and we have a zombie war to deal with.
Oh, that part is not in D&D. If you get bit by a zombie, you don't become a zombie.
Oh, so sorry.
No.
Probably get an infection, though.
Kyle probably wouldn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that, everyone. Pardon my ignorance. I didn't go to school like some privileged people in this little party.
No, that's really just me.
I went to school
I didn't go.
on the astral plane where I learned a bunch of stuff that isn't relevant here. Okay, well,
So leave her and go fight that guy?
yes. Let's leave her for now. Check on her later.
So you're done with the chamber machine for now?
I do.
Hey,
So-
what happens if one of us goes in there?
Oh, God.
Do we become extra alive?
Well, so here's the thing. I think that the power of reanimating this corpse came from those fish.
Right,
All the
but
fish.
if we
There
got
are-
more fish.
Perhaps.
If we got more fish, what are the odds that we end up with Coward again?
Well, I want to make sure that they were
That would
clear
just be a
too
win-win.
that this lever, right, it flips one direction or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as if it's in a neutral position and you pull it and then it goes back.
Oh.
Like it was on one side and then you pushed it up.
Wait.
Wait. Malkrith, could you put our friend back in the pod, please?
Sure. I'll drag her back in.
You drag her back
I'm
in.
going to flip the other direction.
You flip the other direction. Again, this crackling magical electrical energy runs through the whole room. The zombie just falls into a pile of flesh, and
Ugh.
the fish look as if they're electrocuted and then resume swimming as if nothing had ever
Do
happened.
they look alive normal style?
Yeah, they look totally normal.
Wow. Not even zombie fish.
Not zombie fish.
That is fascinating. I think I understand.
You said there's another door to this room?
Yeah, there's a door out.
Yeah.
Kind of further in, basically.
Well, let's press on for now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that door is closed, like a plant shield closed, right, with a lever and a signet ring
All right,
again.
let's do the thing.
All right, so you do the thing. So the reason it matters, the door behind you closes when this one opens.
Oh, by the way, what's the image on the signet ring?
It's that same thing that you saw drawn on one of the crates downstairs in that storage room.
Okay.
It just sort of looks like a sigil of like a couple of druidic letters kind of superimposed on top of each other.
What storage room? I don't remember a storage room. What are you talking about?
There isn't one now.
All right, so as you move to open this door, I will say that Clutter is starting to get pretty nervous. Clutter can't bark and can't make any noise, but you can tell like he's sort of trying to whine and he's shaking his butt a little bit and looking at that door as you get next to it.
Doing tippy tappies.
He's doing
So I'm
tippy
gonna-
tappies.
Y'all, there are living creatures beyond this door.
He looks scared, I would say. And if you give me an animal handling check,
Yeah. That's a 14.
with a 14, I think that you know him well enough to know that
I know.
he's scared for you. He's not afraid of what's in the next room necessarily. He's afraid something bad's going to happen to his mom.
What a good boy.
Aw.
What a good boy.
Well, clutter. I think I'm going to keep this to myself and just kind of like back to the back of the line.
Okay.
Right.
Well, the door opens and you see a vast circular chamber with a domed ceiling made of interwoven living branches that filter dappled green light throughout the room. The walls are lined with these twisted oak bookshelves containing ancient tomes with moss-covered spines and scrolls sealed with strange saps. At the far end of the chamber is a full-length mirror and a wooden wardrobe. Dominating the right side of that domed chamber is a massive workbench carved from a single enormous tree stump, and its surface is scarred with alchemical burns and stained with fluids in these weird colors. Glass tubes of varying sizes connect crystalline vessels filled with pulsing luminescent essences, some vibrant green, others sickly yellow, ominous purple. Beside it is another one of those tall standing glass chambers. This one has two smaller glass chambers attached to it. One contains a handful of miscellaneous materials that are too small to make out from just a glance from the door. And the other chamber is totally empty. On the work table beside that chamber, there's a pile of rolled up scrolls and what looks like a pile of sticks that are in the process of being whittled down into the shape of wands. Small potted trees decorate the room, and there are also hanging planters hanging from the ceiling. But standing there in the center of the room is an old, weathered gray man with wild hair and an unkempt beard, flanked on one side by a young male apprentice. He's dressed in the same kind of plain, potentially homemade cloth robes the rest of the dusk circle has worn, and seated on his other side on the floor is a grown direwolf, which stands up as you enter and growls.
Nope.
But here's the strangest part. 4 long, hose-like tendrils of vine and crystal protrude out of Cyril Allgrove's lower back through the gaps in his clothes and connect him to his assistant, the wolf, and 2 of the potted trees, as if vines have been grafted into all of them to connect one another.
Okay. All right.
He says to you, "And now you have a choice. I'm so close to perfecting it all. You can turn around and leave, and I will not hunt you. Or you can interfere and die. Make your choice."
Well, I don't really have strong opinions about you other than you indirectly tried to kill us, but if I sought revenge after everybody that did that to me, then I wouldn't even be here right now. I'd be so busy. I really just need one of your books, and I am curious about what you're doing here.
Oz is just salivating with curiosity.
And Clutter is getting more freaked out. Is there a way I can do a check? Because I'm wondering, I think he's freaking out because I think Cyril has something to do with something from our past.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to roll another animal handling? Are you trying to remember if you can place his face? Are you trying to better understand the body language from Clutter? Do you know what I mean? Tell me.
I guess I'm trying to understand the body language of Clutter. Like, has Clutter encountered
Yes,
this man in the direwolf?
Sure. Okay. Give me that's going to be an
Animal handling. Okay.
or a nature.
It's a 16.
You study his facial expressions and you can't tell if what you're seeing is recognition or just apprehension.
Okay. I'm not going to walk any further.
Okay.
And I'm going to warn the group, guys. I am getting like really bad feelings about this. And while you all might not believe in the wisdom of animals, Clutter is telling me we should not move any further or engage with this.
Cyril listens to your spiel and then sort of rolls his eyes and looks back to Malkreth and says, "You want my books, and you offer me what in return?"
Oh, not killing you.
Do you imagine that you could? And do you imagine that this knowledge is something to be bartered for like market goods? What I've uncovered has taken decades of isolation, sacrifice, and communion with forces you can't comprehend. My acolytes have given years of their lives to grasp even the fundamentals, and you've murdered them, and you stand here, having invaded my sanctuary and believe I would simply give you anything? The arrogance is almost admirable.
Well, you invaded Golden Fields first, so let's not talk about arrogance.
How quaint. Does the winter ask permission before it kills the summer's growth? Does the lightning apologize to the tree it strikes? No, I am a force of nature and not bound by your small ethics.
Your vocabulary certainly isn't bound. Listen, here's the way I see it. Either you let us take the thing we want, one single book, and then potentially you make some allies that might have some resources that could be of use to you, or we kill each other right now. Now, I love killing. It's probably my favorite thing in the world, in any of the worlds. But I also am rational enough to see a good opportunity when it presents itself to me. Are you? Or has all of this, pointing to all the vines and the things coming out of him, addled your mind to a point that you can't see past your own self-aggrandizement?
All right, what do you want to roll?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it seems like a persuasion or an intimidation. Both would work.
Then let's do intimidation, because I'm trained in that. Okay, that's 15.
He sort of looks at you and he snarls and he says, "You imagine you would have anything, any resource I would need? No. This is the fundamental restructuring of life's flow. The power to determine what thrives and what withers. Even if I wish to share it with you, which I do not, you lack the perspective to wield it responsibly.
Oh,
No, what I do here will either reshape the world or remain buried with me. There is no middle path."
I lack the resources and perspective, but those I serve have power and knowledge beyond that of any mortal man.
You can roll again if you want.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be a high check.
That is impossibly
Die.
cocked.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's like a 6.
No. He lifts up his staff beside him and he says, "Enough. You've made your choice and I've made mine. And roll your initiative because they're about to attack."
Well, he made a choice.
Ooh, that sucks.
17.
Yeah, well, you made it sound, but 17 is like
Yeah.
not bad.
I got a 6.
See, that's bad.
No, I just got fearful. I don't like to be first.
Oh, it's good for you to be first, though, because
Yeah.
people are flat-footed, if that's still a thing.
It's not.
Ah, well.
At one point, it would have been good for you to be first.
Well, not anymore.
I got a 20 by
Sadness.
math, so you won't be.
And
Nice.
Malgreth.
14.
All right, it's Fourstone's turn then.
I didn't really want to be first either. I
Scratch his eyes out.
Is this guy played by Alfred Molina? You
Look,
said
guys, I've got like 2 voices. I can
Well, no, it's not so much the voice as it is
The Doc Ock
the
of it
Doc Ock
all.
of it all.
yeah.
No, I would really like you to expand your voice acting.
I'm practicing.
Make him Steve Urkel.
That's your thing. Should I tell them about your acting history?
Sure.
For the Patreon.
Yeah, for the Patreon.
Did you guys know that Gretchen was a child Elvis impersonator?
Wait, no, this I did.
Oh my god.
This is a real thing.
It is real.
Like traveled to do performances.
Yeah,
and
I was
stuff.
very proud of it too, and I was like in middle school, so I it didn't connect for me that I had no friends because I was passionate about being an Elvis impersonator.
oh my gosh.
This is extremely Memphis coded.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even live in Memphis at the time.
Wow. See, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. I was assuming.
No,
Yeah.
I was in Ohio and one day decided I'm good at this. This is what I do. And
That's
ran with
incredible.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
there's that diversion.
Thank you.
Did we buy you enough time?
I'm going to toll the dead on the dire wolf, I suppose.
Okay.
No, because I will, actually. And that's a DC 13 wisdom save.
It's going to be a 13. Heck.
Right. Cool. He's fine.
Kahu.
All right, I'm just gonna go and stab that acolyte that's connected to Cyril.
Okay, so you roll your attack roll.
Hit was 18,
That hits for sure. So now-
damage 7.
Okay. So you lunge forward and take a swipe with your rapier and take a good slash across this wizard's chest. And it's immediately like reeling backwards. This did not seem to,
What
they didn't seem ready for this.
what happened? I'm curious. What happens to the vine part where he's connected to Cyril?
Yeah, nothing at the moment.
Okay.
Nothing that you see. So you do still have your bonus action and stuff if you want to use it for anything.
Okay, can I do a perception check? This is a bonus action I have, eye for detail,
Sure.
just to see like if it's gonna tell me anything about. I'm curious, like if I cut a vine, does it grow back? Like
Yeah,
what's
I
the
don't-
mechanism behind these vines?
I don't think you would know that just from being able to like see better. But you could potentially see other things in the room.
Yeah, let's just do it.
So go ahead and roll it.
Oh yeah, 24.
Wow.
Dang.
24. You notice two things with a 24 that may or may not be relevant to you right now, right? This is just stuff that's in the room that you didn't notice before. That now you are in the height of battle, your senses are quickened, and you are noticing that, for one, there's this like small, round, almost looks like a D20 stone that's on the big workbench that you didn't see before.
Okay.
And also that you'll remember there's that chamber that's there kind of off to the right, and it has it has the big chamber and then two little attachments, and one of those attachments has some stuff in it that you couldn't tell what that is before. On a better glance, you're pretty sure it is some sort of magical reagent. You wouldn't know what specifically, but you've seen Oz and other wizards handle that sort of stuff before to know that that seems to be some ingredients for some kind of spell.
Okay.
And then that would make it Malkreth's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna rush forward with my greatsword, shout, "Cut the vines!" And then I'm going to go to cut one of the vines.
Right? The connection between whom?
I'll do one of the plants first, because it's probably gonna be easier to hit. Because
Okay.
it's wiggling around less, I would assume.
So yeah, let's make a normal attack roll.
No, I'm not very good at those. That is not great. It's a 10.
A 10 is going to actually hit. So you roll your normal damage
Okay,
too.
cool. That is 12 damage.
Nice.
When I actually hit things.
Yeah. and I will tell you, these are sturdy. So 12 damage does actually cleave it in half, and it's disconnected.
Cool. And then after I do that, I'll say, and remember, try and take him alive.
Okay, it is the apprentice druid's turn, and it is going to cast Shield. I'll read that. An invisible barrier of magical force appears and protects you. Until the start of your next turn, you have a +5 bonus to AC, including against triggering attack, and you take no damage from magic missile. This druid looks like messed up, has cast shield, and tries to move back behind Cyril. It's now Cyril's turn. Cyril is holding this twisted wooden staff that almost looks like he just ripped a root out of the ground, and he points it in your direction, Malkreth, when he sees you slice the connection between him and the plant. And he is going to cast Frostbite on you, which is you're going to have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. In theory, good at those. I'm in practice good at those. That is going to be a 20.
The 20 is definitely going to be fine. So you actually, frost appears on the ground between him and you and sort of shoots towards you, but you just shrug it off and you're totally fine. However, as a bonus action,
No.
he's going to whip his severed vine tendril and it reconnects back to
What?
Fuses back with the plant.
No.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It is now Oz's turn.
So he's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And can I get over to where the pod is with the reagents? That's kind of along the wall,
You
I
can.
assume.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get over there. I want to use a bonus action to because I have quick study, to take the study action to try to figure out what is in the reagents, like what's going on with the pod stuff. Investigate, I assume.
Or Arcana.
We're gonna do investigate because that's actually better. That's a 10.
Yeah, you know that it's some type of animal fur and a shard of amber, but offhand you can't remember what that would be used for.
Okay. And then I'm going to cast Mind Spike on Cyril. So he needs to make a DC 14 Wisdom save.
Oh man, that's probably not going to be it. Yeah, that's only going to be an 11, so he's going to fail.
So it's 3d8 psychic. It's 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 psychic damage.
Nice.
And as long as I focus on him, I know where he is at all times, as long as he's on this plane.
Yeah, so he whips his head backwards as that hits him, and he looks enraged, but he has nothing to do, and it is Fourstone's turn.
Okay. I'm going to fire my crossbow at one of the ones that connects the tree to Cyril. It's a 13.
Hits.
Love it. And that's 11 damage.
11 damage. Yeah, it'll do it. So you do manage to sever one.
Cool.
Is that it for you?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Kahu's turn.
Wait, what was it that you threw, Forstone?
I hit one of the tentacle things with my crossbow.
Okay.
So he has his connections to the wolf, his assistant, and then one
plant.
potted tree,
Yeah.
but not the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with my rapier. Try to cut the other potted plant.
Yes.
17 hits.
Roll damage.
12.
Yeah, you
Nice.
sliced right through it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be way harder with them being sturdy. In case you don't know, that sturdy trait means you don't hurt them unless you do at least 10 damage.
Oh,
Wow.
all right. We're
And you just have done it 3 times in a row.
really good against vines.
Slay.
So it's the dire wolf's turn. And that's where we'll leave it for this week. This fight is going to get more deadly next week, and we'll jump right back into the fray. As always, thank you to those who have shared the show with friends and left a review on the podcast app of your choice. We read everything and we respond to everything. Check out the site at rollthebonespodcast.com and get at us at hello@rollthebonespodcast.com. Until next time, roll high and don't die.